Okay, let's talk about this. Have you ever felt like you're playing a game at work, but you were never actually given the rulebook? You're not alone in that feeling, not by a long shot. For the next few minutes, I want to walk you through how to not just play that game, but how to actually win it.
You know the drill, right? You put in the hours, you deliver fantastic work, you hit every single deadline, but something just feels off. You look around and see other people moving up, getting all the recognition, and you can't help but ask yourself, what am I missing here? I want you to know that feeling, it's real, and it's so common.
So here's the good news, and I really want you to hear this. This isn't about you lacking talent or not working hard enough. Not at all. It's about navigating this invisible system, these unwritten rules. You already have all the skills you need. Now, let's crack this code together.
So, what is this corporate culture thing, really? It's not the fancy posters on the wall or the mission statement on the company website. Nope. It's the invisible code, the real set of rules that dictates how things actually get done. This is where the confusion starts. On paper, you have the company values, the mission, all that stuff. But in reality, the real culture is how decisions actually get made. The handbook might talk about team spirit, but the culture is how people really behave day to day, and maybe most importantly, what actually gets rewarded with a promotion or a bonus. Understanding this gap is step one. And this is the absolute key right here. Think about it. Your job description, that's the what. It's your list of tasks. But the culture, that's the how. And in the corporate world, believe me, the how you do things is often way more important for your career than just the what.
Now, for many of us who've moved from one culture to another, especially into a Western corporate world, this is where things can get really tricky. It's like two different worlds colliding. So let's break down some of the most common points of friction, shall we?
Oh man, this one is a huge shock for so many of us. We're often raised to believe that if you just put your head down and work hard, your results will speak for themselves. But in a lot of corporate environments, it's just not true. If the right people don't see your work and understand its impact, it's almost as if it never happened. It's not enough to do the work, you have to make sure the work is seen. So think of it this way. Your excellent performance, that's your entry ticket. That's what gets you a seat at the table. But visibility, making sure your contributions are seen and understood, that's what keeps you in the game. That's what allows you to actually influence decisions and move your career forward. And communication style, this is another massive hurdle. You might be using indirect language because where you come from, that's a sign of politeness and respect. But over here, it can be perceived as you being unclear or even lacking confidence. You might stay quiet in a meeting out of humility to give others space, but it's interpreted as you being disengaged or having nothing to add.
And that right there, that's the whole issue in a nutshell. Your actions aren't wrong. Your intentions are good, but they're being filtered through a completely different cultural lens. The minute you understand this, everything changes. You're not the problem. The interpretation is the challenge we need to solve.
Let's talk about meetings, because this is where everything we just talked about comes to life. So many people see meetings as just a place to get information updates, and that is a huge missed opportunity. In reality, a meeting is your stage. It's where perceptions about you are formed and where careers are made or not.
They are your chance to perform your competence. They're arenas where you can influence the direction of projects, and they are the spaces where the real decisions get made. And critically, it's also where credit is handed out. If you're just a quiet face in a crowd, you're leaving your success completely up to chance.
Now, feedback. This one's tough. Getting really direct, sometimes blunt feedback can feel like a personal attack, especially if you're not used to it. But you have to understand, in many of these environments, it's just seen as a tool for efficiency. It's not personal, it's just business. It's how they think things get improved.
This brings us to another big one, self-promotion. I know, it can feel so uncomfortable, maybe even arrogant. But here's the brutal truth. If you don't speak up about your work, you're forcing a busy system to guess your value. And you know what? When systems guess, they usually guess low. It's not about being arrogant, it's about giving them clear data.
Okay, so we've gone through the problem, we've diagnosed what's going on. Now let's talk about the solution. And this is not about changing who you are at your core. Not at all. This is about adding new strategies, new tools to your toolkit so you can navigate this environment with skill and, most importantly, with confidence.
All right, here it is, your 5-step playbook. First, just observe. Become a cultural detective. Watch how the influential people communicate, how decisions really get made. 2, make your work visible. Send those update emails, highlight your wins. 3. Adapt your communication. Practice being a little more direct. 4. Build relationships. Go for that coffee. And 5. Ask for feedback. Go get it yourself, so you're always learning and adapting.
And listen, I just want to pause here for a second. This is a lot. I get it. You're not just learning a new job, you're decoding an entire culture, probably while managing a new life in a new country. That is a massive undertaking. So please, be patient with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself through this whole process.
So, if there's one thing you take away from our time together, let it be this. Your technical skills, your expertise, that's what got you in the door. But it's your ability to understand and navigate the human system around you, that is what will unlock your real success.
That confusion you've been feeling, that's not a bad thing. It's actually the beginning of a breakthrough. By understanding these unwritten rules, you can go from feeling lost to being strategic. You have all the power you need to change your story at work. The only question left is, are you ready to start?